Engineer Min, we are here for you on Aloha Fridays, not only on AM 940, but am940hawaii.com.
Yeah, and AM 940 on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app. We also got Facebook.com/Aloha Friday Morning Show.
There you go. That's an
And we're going to have video, sort of a new form of video, because I got a different camera. So we're going to see how this works, actually, and you can check that out on our YouTube video channel. Kakawano channel on YouTube, yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
So,
wow, unbelievable.
There you go.
Well, you pass it on.
Passing the video on over to
See, now that's real passing on of the video.
Really moving there.
Wow.
To modern technology.
Yeah, and it's
Bigger
Aloha Friday, so,
technology.
you know, we're all here this week. It's really nice that the World Cup is over. Man, that was, whew, wow. And we got other things going on, you know, it seems to be a time where we are now poised and ready to make those accurate votes.
Oh, that's what I was actually just going to say, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Well, no, it's amazing when that time of year comes around. It's just like all you see on TV or just television and everywhere, you know, around town. You're just bombarded with, you know, all the political, you know, votes.
And people change strategies, right? You know, right just before they go, okay, now we got to be solid. So we go to this strategy. This is our strategy. And now KITV does something in television history that hasn't been done. Everybody, you realize that what they did was pretty much different. I wouldn't have recommended it if I had a political candidate and I was in a debate. I would never say, if I couldn't be elected, I would say that this candidate would be the best candidate. Because then...
That's not something you want to say.
No, but they asked everybody on the list of people who want to go to the Congress, right? Okay. And asked them who they would vote for. And see, if I was one of the people who was going up there, I said, I'll vote for me. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm running. And even if I wasn't here, I'd still vote for me. If not elected, I still vote for me. You know why? Because that's why I'm here. That's why I signed the papers. That's why, you know, I want to get elected. So it was a very different thing to see that on television and then to see people play it over and over again. So we just like to say that was a moment in history, television history, that hasn't really been done before and may never be done again.
Because two of the candidates were standing there who were also running, Mark Takai and Joey Monahan. And so several of the candidates said, well, I would vote for Joey or I would vote for Mark. And it's like, what else are they going to say?
That sounds a little bit too...
Like somebody from the community?
Yeah, that's a little too politically correct for me.
Yeah, well, it's just off. That's not why you do a debate. That's not why you do, you know, this kind of television thing where you get together. However, it is interesting because of history of television. So it's the first time. Now let's see if it's the last time.
So they've never had that on television before.
Never like that. Never.
Like,
okay,
if you vote for if you weren't elected?
If you weren't going to be running, who would you vote for? If I wasn't going to be running, I wouldn't be here in this forum. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was. Okay. So.
Well, I do have to say though, you always know that it's that time. The election time is coming up, and it's that time of year because you're just bombarded with a bunch of political.
And nobody, and you know what the interesting part is? Nobody wants to know who you voted for.
True. But I do have to say, regardless of political affiliations or whatever, it is interesting to see what they come up with for the commercials. And I do have to say that Neil Abercrombie gets a gold star for that recent commercial. I thought it was actually
which one?
Quite
the cab one?
The cab one was awesome.
The cab, yeah.
That was a cool commercial, I have to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, now you've just.
Regardless of who I vote for,
rocked the boat a little bit. It's supposed to be unprejudiced.
I'm not. I'm just saying it was a cool commercial.
Yeah.
It was creative.
Okay, so my favorite was a little off the wall.
Yeah.
Was Ooh Dana.
Oh, that was cool too. Yeah.
Ooh Dana. Ooh Dana. Ooh Dana. See? So and those were the only two that were kind of different.
Yeah.
Everybody else was
sort of innovation.
Was fun, and
the same old this report has been his.
And I think that there are some wonderful people who are giving it their all, you know, and And needless to say, every candidate is, taking the stance, taking the chance, and taking the opportunity to possibly represent Hawaii in Congress. Now, you got to just think about that, right?
Right.
So we have very well-educated, great business, great people who are advocates, who are all involved in this process, and it's really interesting. I've never seen that many candidates for one position before.
Yeah.
To go into Congress. And then you have other positions that have to be filled because of that. Went from the city council all the way through the state legislature. So it is really an interesting process. But the only thing that's important is whether you are voting, absentee ballot, voting in the polls, voting. Okay, because that's what's important.
Well, the absentee ballots on Monday. But I was also going to say, regardless of the entertainment value of the commercials, it really depends on who you think is the best candidate for the job. That's really all that matters.
Yes.
Yeah, and ultimately you have to go by the track record, right? So ultimately, there's no swaying in this. You have to go by the track record. What happened these past 4 years or 2 years? What happened? And if you stop to think about what happened, then it'll be very, very obvious. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And if we have to tell you, no vote.
Well, they also say that because it's not a presidential election year, that actually less people show up to the polls. But I think that, regardless of whether or not a president is being elected, you should still get out there and vote.
Yeah, and in Hawaii, we've had a great reputation at being last on the polls. We've had an unbelievable reputation.
We're unmatched at being last.
The president went to Punahou. It doesn't matter. We still are way low and slow, but the reason is because we're the end of the food chain. So many of the elections have already been settled nationally, and so by the time they get to the local for the presidential, I mean, it's like, what are we? The period on the exclamation point? What are we? We're at the end of the food chain. So
right. Well,
in voting.
Like I said, but the good thing that we kind of brought up the last time is that absentee ballot voting, it actually makes it really easy to vote.
So a lot of voting is done before time. Now, do we think that men vote early, or do women vote early?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because the tendency is
there a disparity between the sexes in terms of voting?
No. It's just we're going to find out if women voted more absentee ballot than men, and it's a good balance, because then when they go for the next election, there'll be keys in how
especially if Hillary Clinton is running.
Yeah, so it's going to be very, very interesting.
Do you think she's going to run? Is she running?
I think she runs every morning, but that's beside the point.
I think she
stays so fit.
I think she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably next Friday after the show, I'll be heading down. Since we're downtown anyway, I'll just head right down to do my absentee voting.
Next week Friday.
Yep.
Because
the polls open Monday.
Right.
So.
You don't want to avoid the rush. You want to stand in there with everybody and saying, "I'm counting my vote."
That's right.
Nobody's going to get my vote early. No, I'm waiting till the last moment. Why? Because then I really count. Yes, I do. So that's going to be interesting. Hey, listen, we got sports coming up. And as for everything else that's important to our lives, I think the only thing that really kind of hit me this week was missing persons. What's up with that? What's up with that? And why are young people missing? Why not? Come on. Why not? Galvanize. Okay? Why not people know what's going on? What's up? What's happening? Can't do that to the people. Okay? Wrong. Already. Wrong. Galvanize. Why not? Answer the call. Find out where these people are. Answer it. Okay? I don't like when people accuse a certain area. Oh, yeah, because it's happening here. Baloney. Okay? Why not have some of the best people in the world? So why not people? Find out the network. Find out who knows. Find out what's happening. And let it be told. Okay? All right. Follow there. We'll be right back. I'm Kiko Aloha. And this program is proudly brought to you by
PCEN and its Pelletron companies.
The great sounds of Hokulea, Napea o Hokulea. Yeah, taking you back to the very first voyage and the musical legacy put together by Roland Casimiro and Kelly Taua, and some great songs for that time. Before that, you heard Carlos Andrade and the boys on Kauai sharing with you another song for Hokulea. Hokulea is sailing down in that area of the Tuamotus and Tahiti and Society Islands, and then it's going to be moving on. So
I still was hoping we could play that Eddie Aikau song, the Hokulea.
Yeah, one of these days.
Okay.
When it's very meaningful, we will touch on that.
Okay,
that's
cool.
for sure. We do have, of course. Oh, it's time for what everybody's waiting for. That's right. When you got work all week long and you want to take it easy, it's not only Aloha Friday, it's time for sports.
That's right. I don't know if it's what you're waiting for, but it's coming nonetheless, so buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a bumpy ride. 6:23 sports time. I'm Ikaika Kahawano. Go Sports! The University of Washington Huskies football team expect to wait until the final week and a half before its August 30th season opening game with Hawaii to name a starting quarterback in the wake of the suspension of Siler Miles. Miles, the only returning University of Washington quarterback who has thrown a pass in a college game, will be held out of the matchup at Aloha Stadium after he was suspended for spring practice following an incident in February in which wide receiver DeMaria Stringfellow was charged with misdemeanor assault. Stringfellow has since left the team, and with Miles briefly out, the Huskies will choose between sophomore Jeff Lindquist and redshirt freshman Troy Williams, who will split the work during spring and have KJ Carter-Samuels as an incoming freshman. And this just in, UH coach Norm Chow has decided to spread out the offense this season with a run-and-shoot style as opposed to a run-first, smash-mouth style type football. And let's hope that's the missing link to the post. And Marshawn Lynch isn't expected to be present for the first day of Seattle Seahawks training camp. Close friend and former teammate Michael Robinson said Thursday, appearing on the NFL Network, Robinson said he spoke with Lynch and Seattle star running back plans to hold out of the camp that begins Friday.
Ooh, money.
Yeah, at dispute is Lynch's contract. Lynch can make up to $5.5 million this season in base pay and roster bonuses. That's pretty paltry. Whew. Yeah, it's the third year of a 4-year contract Lynch signed with the Seattle before the 2012 season, before they were champions, of course.
That's right.
And Lynch nearly skipped June's mandatory minicamp because he wants the final 2 years of his contract reworked, a.k.a. he's the face of the franchise and he wants more money. What a surprise.
Yeah, maybe that's why he was talking so much at the end of the last year.
I know, you called it right
there.
Yeah,
wait, he's talking. I'm talking. Maybe because I want more money.
Yep, you called it right there in the middle of the report, Down. And in case you missed it, it may sound Lynn-sane, but Jeremy Lin is taking his talents to the West Coast, i.e. the best coast, to don the purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Whoa!
Yeah. This is actually the third time the Lakers tried to get Jeremy Lin, if you can believe it. Yeah. The first time losing him to the Golden State Warriors in his rookie season, the second time losing him to Houston, but the third time's a charm, apparently. And in other NBA news, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who just acquired hometown sensation Bron, are also looking to acquire one Mr. Kevin Love from the Minnesota Timberwolves to create a super team in Cleveland. And Blake Griffin has withdrawn from playing for the U.S. national basketball team this summer. The Los Angeles Clippers star was one of 19 players selected to the roster from which the World Cup team will be chosen. Griffin said Thursday that he wants to dedicate all his energy on improving and preparing for the upcoming NBA season. And Geno Smith is a changed quarterback. Puzzled pauses in the New York Jets huddle have been replaced by commanding play calls. He's also barking out audibles at the line of scrimmage and reading defenses unlike he did at any point during his rookie season.
Everybody here?
For a first training camp practice, Smith certainly performed Thursday like a guy intent on retaining his starting job, taking 75% of the snaps and completing 7 out of 10 passes in 11 on 11 drills. And if you didn't know it, Michael Vick is actually his backup, and after being traded from the Eagles to the Jets in the offseason, I think it's safe to say that Michael Vick, he's not anyone's backup, so we'll see what happens up there with the Jets.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
Vick is a power.
Yeah, no, he's not a backup kind of guy, so we'll see what happens with the Jets.
He's a dog.
There's always drama at the quarterback position for the New York Jets. And don't forget, the Tin Man is happening this Sunday, starting at 5:30 a.m. at Kapiolani Park. You can, I believe you can still get your entries in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can probably do a late entry or something like that. But 750 meter swim, 40K bike, 10K run happening this Saturday or this Sunday.
I can feel them right now. I can feel them. You know what I can feel? The pain in my back. Okay.
And there's your look at sports on Aloha Friday.
All right. Good spot. Just a little note, they have this competition, international competition, where all the ladies, the LPGA, they're all competing, so they take the top 4. Well, unfortunately, it goes back to March. So you know who's not counted in that?
I don't know who.
Michelle.
Why should I?
And you know who has the US Open. You know who has the least points out of anybody? USA.
Well, I think doesn't she have
0 points?
But Michelle Wee has the most money out of anyone on the tour this year.
Oh, yes,
so far, I think she's the leading money winner.
She's not playing as
bothered at all. No, but that was the little, the little on the female side of
I know.
sports.
I'm keeping.
She won the U.S. Open. Who cares?
Yes.
She can hang it up after that.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I think that's the part that she probably came back and tried to do too.
And she won over here at Carolina, like earlier in the year.
Carolina and then the U.S. Open. I mean, talk about great wins.
She's had a great year already.
Actually, you could just take off the rest of the year.
Exactly.
You know, you could. But Michelle is not like that. She's going to pick it up and she's going to get it back in gear and she's going to move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's golf. That's
to
why.
a palace. She's going to move on to a palace because she can afford one.
I find it amazing. I know you're an avid golfer.
I am.
Golf drives me nuts because so some days I'm like great, and I'm shooting like high 70s, low 80s, and then some days I'm awful, and I can't understand why.
Well, the
It's
whole
like a
thing
day-to-day
is like
thing.
when you are awful, it's what do you do? Not oh, I'm playing awful.
Yes.
This is what do you do shot by shot to improve your game. Okay?
Recover.
Because you can never really say, oh, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to change that. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to be okay.
Right.
That's the challenge of it. It's like life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got a little bump in the road. You got to just, I woke up now. I'm back. I understand now. So
Resiliency.
But
the whole
it
game
is
of
quite
golf.
mysterious, and that's probably what makes it the greatest game in the world. I suppose, right?
Yeah, it's and it like life.
Well, you were talking about the women, so we had the women's invitational last week.
Yes.
First
Beautiful.
day,
Beautiful.
first day. Oh, a few of us experienced being in the top 3.
Yeah.
The very next day.
Leilani was in the top 3 on the first day.
And then the next day in the middle of the pack. And so it just shows like how quickly things can change. Wind conditions came up and things were different the next day. And
Glassy
and
greens.
you think
Glassy
you can,
greens,
and you shave those greens again.
Well, you know what? The other thing about golf too is I think it's like the only sport where you actually call penalties on yourself.
And
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
right.
honest
That's right.
the
That's
one
right.
It keeps
sport-
you have to be accountable for your
Although
own
you notice
game.
now
Exactly.
on the tours, the men's, the women's, the champions, they all call in for the official. Why?
Right.
Because somebody at home on TV is going to say, "Oh, they never do that
Yeah.
right."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So, just want to mention that there is a golf tournament today.
Yes.
It's a
Big
famous
Webco.
one. It's Webco golf tournament, and the guy at the head of that organization is Greg Gomes.
Okay.
And Greg Gomes has given a lot to charity throughout his years of having the Webco tournament, and before that it was the St. Louis tournament. So now it's a Webco tournament, which means you can still give funds to St. Louis, his alma mater, and a lot of other charitable organizations. So that's going to be a big one. It's going to be a Couple A, the home of Pacific Links. So that's going to be really terrific. By the way, Champions Tour coming up, Pacific Links. It's going to be from September 15th to the 21st or 22nd, the end of that week. Okay? So just want everybody to be in touch about that because that's going to be great with all of those Champions Tour guys.
Your prediction, Rory McIlroy, gonna
Well, Roy
exceed
McIlroy,
expectations,
just
or-
for him to win the British Open,
he's-
raised his star quality big time. And it creates a better balance for what's happening in the world
and a bigger
of
buzz.
sports.
He's one
Just
shy.
like-
He's one shy of the career Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's just like soon enough we're going to be back in the NFL, baby.
Yes.
Soon enough,
And
We're
I
gonna be
cannot
back in
wait.
the big game.
And the World
Soon
Series.
enough, we're going to be saying, "Whoa, let's go! Another round of unbelievable
I
football
can't
with
wait.
loyal people all over the
Predictions
world."
for next
Huh?
season.
Predictions for next season. It will happen.
That's a safe prediction.
What's your prediction?
Well, I actually predicted Seattle to run the
You
table.
did?
Yeah, for the next couple of years. So I'm predicting to win this and the next year's Super Bowl.
Whoa.
However,
Did you hear that?
however, there is one caveat. In light of this recent, Marshawn Lynch sort of,
Yeah.
news coming to light,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of kick back for a little while and retinker and recalibrate.
Everybody in Seattle.
Well,
just
because if
went-
he's going to do
No,
it,
no.
then everybody's going to start becoming a diva on the team. And that's going to
Everybody just went like
kill the
this.
team.
Allah. That's a local expression. With me? Allah.
Well, if you
Not really. It's all a part of the biz. It's all a part of the money. It's all a part of the big bucks and the big spending also with that. We got a show coming up. Coming up, a guy who actually could have played quarterback at Damien Memorial High School if he only had the talent. Instead, he turned out to be better than that. We're talking about the delightful, delirious Frank De Lima coming up next on the Aloha Friday Morning Show. I'm Kimo Kahoana,
This is Guy Kawana.
And Leilani Kupahumreno.
along with our engineer, Min. We will be right back with our next guest.
All right.